What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. In the last 2 to 3 weeks, we've actually had 3 or 4 official Avengers Endgame synopsises hit the internet. A couple tied to those theater websites, which databases are now uploading the templates for the showtimes and presumably for the tickets that go on sale in a couple days here. But more importantly, specifically from Marvel, tied to one of their releases in which it says Avengers Endgame will rewrite the MCU. And while a lot was made about each of these synopsises, I think it was glazed over the fact that rewrite specifically confirms the butterfly effect and what that means for Avengers Endgame. It's a super delicate situation, and it means the story needs to be pulled off without flaw. I'm going to go ahead and break down exactly what the butterfly effect means and how that's going to hogtie the story of Avengers Endgame, leaving only a couple possibilities for time travel. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, as well as tickets to go see Avengers Endgame in IMAX once they go on sale in a couple of days here, ? All you got to do, hit the subscribe button, leave a like and a comment on this video, then hit the notification bell, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. I'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Now, when I first heard Avengers Endgame may involve time travel as a plot device, I honestly didn't want to believe it. There's a lot of reasons directors and writers alike never involve time travel in their stories, i.e. Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon, the writers and creators of Rick and Morty, literally have a box called Time Travel Stuff up on a shelf in Rick's garage as a metaphor for never involving time travel and the already too complicated implications of having a multiverse. Sound familiar, Marvel? Now, even though time travel itself is rather complicated, the reasons people choose not to use it are not. Number 1, it's a trope that's been played out a million times before. Number 2, if done without absolute mastercraft, almost always leads to continuity irregularities and or huge plot holes in the story. Because number 3, if you want your protagonist and or protagonists to change, usually it comes at the impetus of a very important event, and if the consequences of this event can be undone merely by time traveling back and undoing those, a la the end of Deadpool 2, saving his girlfriend, it cheapens the entire journey itself. But not so fast. It's not that easy because of something called the butterfly effect. Now let's pretend that this line right here is the Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline, okay? And this right here is where the whole thing kicks off with Tony Stark getting stuck in the cave and becoming Iron Man. Now we now know that Captain Marvel happened some decades before that, and going back even further, tens if not hundreds of thousands of years, you'll have the Eternals. But with Tony getting stuck in the cave, it kicks off this entire cinematic universe that culminates somewhere over here with the beginning of Avengers Endgame, the movie that we're going to get here in less than a month. Now, in between all of this nonsense is where the Avengers fight their multiple battles, where they even hit Civil War, the introduction of many characters, and along this line pop up the appearance of several Infinity Stones. Now, here's the problem. Let's pretend that here at Betas, where Avengers Endgame starts, and everything going forward is where we see the events, okay? All of these events right here are what we're going to see until they start time traveling. Now, let's say they've devised a plan where they're going to go back in time to each of the spots where the stones first appeared. Based on what they've been able to tell each other, Rocket would know where they saw the Power Stone. Thor would know where they saw the Reality Stone. Of course, they already know where the Time Stone and the Mind Stone were. And if Gamora told Nebula, or rather Nebula still remembers inside her head where that Soul Stone is, they know where to go to get all of them. The problem is that as soon as you go back in time and intersect the timeline, it changes the events going forward, and this is where the butterfly effect comes into play. See, the butterfly effect says that no matter what you change, even if it's something as simple as what kind of cereal you had in the morning, a la what we just watched on Netflix, Bandersnatch, literally the very first choice you make is cereal in the morning, can impact greatly the timeline, make drastic changes about the future, including where they think the Infinity Stones may even be, and lead to a completely different future than the one that they were originally coming from in the first place, and completely ruin this movie. See why this isn't easy, guys? Now let's go ahead and wipe the slate clean because we can, and also remark both here where the entire universe starts for us and here where Avengers Endgame is going to start and everything going forward. Now, we know where the 6 Infinity Stones are, that's for sure, but we've also discerned that if you go back in time and intercept the timeline anywhere, we'll call this phi, that everything from there, because of the butterfly effect, starts to be rewritten, including this point right here, which we'll now call delta, which is the snap, meaning that even that would be different, and the future which they came from Avengers Endgame would be different. What does this mean for the butterfly effect in time travel? It means, well, guys, you can only travel back in time once. If you mean to undo something and let the consequences of that undoing be the new future, then you can't travel back in time multiple times, but rather once. And what does that mean for Avengers Endgame? Well, I think it's rather clear from there. Let's go ahead and wipe the slate clean. Avengers Endgame is going to start over here with the consequences of the snap. We'll call that Delta, which is the snap. And here with the beginning of Beta. Now, a lot of people have suspected they're going to use the quantum realm to go into alternate realities to collect those stones. Now, there's precedent for this in the comics, but there was a problem with Infinity Stones from alternate realities working in our reality. It's yet to be seen if they're going to do this. And remember the unaccounted whereabouts of the Time Stone. Perhaps that was the only stone that didn't work outside of our reality. It would make sense. It's our own timeline, right? So the Time Stone for our timeline is intrinsic to our universe, and that's where Doctor Strange perhaps sent that Time Stone into the future to join the other 5 stones they would need. However, if they are able to do this and make an Infinity Gauntlet and use it, they'd go back in time to one specific spot. We'll call this Delta Prime, the moment right before the snap, to defeat Thanos on Wakanda and let the butterfly effect take place from that moment, rewriting the entirety of the future going forward. Now, of course, they will sacrifice the future they had in Avengers Endgame and or any of the subsequent future that would have come after that. Surely the entire universe would have been in a state of mourning and devastation, and if they do this quickly enough, then there won't be too much of triumph lost. But think, if they wait 5 or 10 years and then undo this snap, people will have developed entire new lives. Babies will have been born. Things will have happened that'll be undone, and you can't have your cake and eat it too. Now, of course, that seems like a small price to pay to bring back half of the universe, and I think if that is even debated in the movie, they won't hesitate to do that. But it's yet to be seen whether A, time travel is actually going to be involved in this movie, if it won't be just entirely alternate realities as well, and B, if they're even going to debate the ethical principle of going back in time to change something and giving up the future that's already been forged. It kind of revolves around one of those what's meant to be is meant to be type things, and that was rather recently examined in The Umbrella Academy on Netflix. If you guys caught that, it's actually an excellent comic book series. It's highly recommended, and they had a commission and council that made sure that things that were supposed to happen happened. And I've even conjectured here at the channel that may be played by the role of a celestial, a living tribunal, a one above all, sort of someone who comes and charges the Avengers that A, this is the way things are supposed to be, or B, this is the divergence from the way things are supposed to be, and charges them to fix it. There are ones that watch over this type of thing, like we found out, the ones that watch over the use of the stones and try to stop them from being used in collusion, like we said, the living tribunal, and that may come to pass in this movie as a way of addressing, quote unquote, the way things should or should not be. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments. When you saw that Marvel confirmed this would be rewritten, did you think that it was obviously just the moment before the snap, or do you think that the huge rewrite changes may include something like how they even involve the X-Men or mutants into the MCU? I don't think it's quite on that scale. Of course, we know that Spider-Man Far From Home is due to take place right after the culmination of Avengers Endgame, and if their school is going on a field trip and all those kids seem as jovial as they do in the trailer, then I would think that even something like a spaceship coming down to New York City isn't going to take place, and that they're going to undo the snap and let the butterfly effect take place moving forward. So it may be that they face off against Thanos in Xandar before he even gets the Power Stone, or they intercept Thanos and the like before they intercept and blow up the Asgardian ships. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, one at the 300 and one at the 400,000 subscriber mark. We're also giving away tickets to go see Avengers Endgame in IMAX when they go on sale. I've been saying for a couple weeks now, but presumably they're going to go on sale in a couple days. We're going to give out several pair of tickets, as well as these awesome Marvel Trendsetters limited edition, officially Marvel licensed plaques containing original film cells from the respective movie that they represent. We've got one from Captain America, one from Civil War, one from Age of Ultron and one from Guardians of the Galaxy. We'll be giving away each one of these on the Fridays leading up to Avengers Endgame in the month of April. All you have to do to win these, the tickets, or either of the PlayStation 4 Pros are all the same rules. Hit the subscribe button, then leave a like and a comment on the video, then hit the notification bell, because the more videos that you like and comment on, the better chance you have of winning. My name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always. Thanks for checking out the channel, and stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.